Alright guys, let's get started on this. This video I wanted to make because I thought it was really interesting. It's shocking things you may not know about Missouri. Some shocking information, maybe some information that you may find disturbing or information you haven't known. First part of this video, guys, I'm gonna be sharing with you some missing persons cases, disappearances that has occurred, maybe some shocking history, and shocking information you may not know. Now, I'd like to get into this video in the beginning to warn if you are triggered by missing persons cases, graphic, things, this may not be the video for you. This is going to be just a look into a little bit about Missouri and some shocking information you may not know.
First out, I like to give credit where credit's due. Stephanie Butler. She made this article, and I found a lot of information that I found helpful. So let's get started. First up, we got the I70 Killer. There's a picture of the suspect. These are all the women that were victims of the crime. A series of murders that happened down Interstate 70. Next up, we have the disappearance of Angela Hellman. Here's a picture of her. So yeah, the story goes. 4 months pregnant, Angela was on the phone with her boyfriend, and she said she heard this guy, and this car drove up, and when questioned, he said the boyfriend went to that location and saw a truck that drove off real speedily with a fish detail on the back. I don't know, guys, it seems kind of fishy to me. What do you? Because it says in the pursuit of this truck that apparently had captured her, the boyfriend's transmission died in the pursuit, and all he could remember was a fish detail in the back of the white truck. So what do you think happened? Next up, guys, we have one that's really disturbing: the murder of Linda Sherman. So the story goes, this is a picture of Linda and her husband and her kid. So she went missing. There was some questionable details involving her disappearance, the last hours with her husband. Well, get this, years and years go by, and they find the skull, apparently, of her, and it was at her favorite restaurant. And then the police received a letter saying that they had this woman's skull. So, I mean, and what do you think about that? And it says in this article that the husband and wife had a very stormy marriage. A lot of people didn't know what really happened. But I find it really weird. The person must have known her well enough to know her favorite restaurant, which I think it has some key details in it, don't you? Next up, we have the disappearance of Lawrence Harding Jr. So basically the story goes with this one, guys, is... And it's a strange story, guys, but bear with me. The mother apparently took this baby to the grocery store, met 2 younger girls there, which followed her around, and then eventually followed her home. When she went to go put her groceries away, they ended up running off with the baby. I don't know. Well, then it says in the report later on, they got a phone call from one of the women saying they were going to return him. But that never happened, so then they ended up trying to hunt this girl down all the way to Magnolia, Arkansas, and yeah, it was a dead end. They couldn't find any relation to where he went, and it's a just shocking disappearance, and always like a warning to never trust people, even people you think. Look, the Springfield 3 missing women, all that looked strangely kind of alike in a way. Yeah, they just all got up and missing. Eventually, one of the parents of one of these missing girls went to the police. They found a van. All they could find was a smashed window. but with no trace of these girls, and they all disappeared. And I just find it strange that Cheryl and Susan were declared legally dead in 1997. So there is no answers to this case. There's no information. These women just vanished out of thin air with no investigation. Okay, guys, this one's going to be the most controversial, but the KKK sponsored a highway. Yes, the KKK applied to sponsor a highway in Missouri, and they made a legislature to just rename it to the Rosa Parks Highway, even though they still, have their roots here, I guess. I don't know. It's very scary, especially with... it's well known for being a hate organization, but I think it's connected to some other cases I found interesting. The KKK applied to sponsor a portion of the United States Interstate 55 in St. Louis County and Jefferson County. The state could not legally refuse the sponsorship. In response to the Missouri's legislature voted to name the highway section the Rosa Parks Highway. When Parks was asked how she felt about this honor, she is reported to have simply said, "It is always nice to be thought of." Wow, guys. Next up, in 1838, Missouri Governor Lindburn Boggs issued Missouri Executive Order 44, ordering all Mormons to leave the state or be killed. Also known as the Extermination Order, Missouri's Executive Order 44 was issued in the aftermath of the Battle of the Crooked River, a clash between Latter-day Saints and a unit of Missouri State in northern Ray County during the 1838 Mormon War. Other state authorities led the executive order to banish the Latter-day Saints from their lands, which in turn led to the Latter-day Saint migration to Navarro, Illinois. The order wasn't officially re-signed until 1975. Wow, that wasn't that long ago. And get this one. A man was given a 13-year sentence for armed robbery in the year 2000, but the state of Missouri forgot to put him in prison. Their mistake wasn't discovered until 13 years later, when it became time for his release. Wow. Makes you think how many people this has actually happened to and how many mess-ups there was. Alright, and the next one, guys. In 1981, a man who had been bullying residents of a small Missouri town was murdered in broad daylight when 40 townspeople rose up against him in an act of vigilante justice. No charges were ever filed. And get this, guys, he was known for so much stuff, including assault, child molestation, statutory rape, arson, hog and cattle rustling, burglary, and even suspected that he murdered this Ernest Bow, who was a store owner. And eventually people just got tired of him and they took it in their own hands to end him. Next up, guys, this one really hurts. This Oda Binga was a young man. He was 32 years old. He came from Africa to Missouri to join a zoo exhibit, a monkey house, where he was basically a freak show attraction. And the sad thing is, he ended up taking his own life by shooting himself in the chest, right in the heart. And it just really affected. In 1903, an American businessman hunting Africans purchased him, and from African slave traders. He was a Mitbull pygmy from the Congo. He was basically looked at as examples of early stages of human evolution, a rarity. The mayor released him in the custody of Reverend James M. Gordon, who supervised the Howard Colored Orphan Asylum in Brooklyn. Gordon arranged for Binga to be cared for in Virginia, paying for American clothing and teeth caps. This allowed him to better brand himself, learn English, and just try to get a better quality of life. But he tried to go back to Africa, but because of World War I, there was travel restrictions. And after that, he couldn't go back to his home, and he fell into a deep depression and later committed suicide in 1916 at the age of 32. It was just a really heartbreaking story, and I wanted to share it. the Devil's Chair. So the story goes with this one, guys, is there's a seat, like concrete stone seat, at the cemetery in Kirksville, and it is said, it's rumored to, if you sit on it under a full moon or on Halloween night, you either be cursed or you get awarded for your foolish bravery. And there's even rumors that a hand comes up and grabs you. It's otherwise known as the Bard Chair. Yeah, it's right around the Highland Park Cemetery. It's just known to be haunted. What do you think you would do if you went there? Do you think you would sit in it, or would you be too scared to? I don't know. Would you get cursed or rewarded, and why? Was it either one? I found the story to be really interesting. There's also a rumor at the Bon Terre Cemetery that people see a witch. So I don't know. Like, I always found paranormal stories to be interesting. And yeah, if you like this video and you want to see another 2-part, 3-part series of haunted places, let me know. Leave me down in the comments below other places you know that are haunted and experiences you've had. I love hearing them, and I just find them really interesting.
Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. If you like this, give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any interesting haunted stories or just interesting history about Missouri that maybe I don't know. And yeah, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss another one of my videos. And I will see you all in the next one.